At this morning's front pages for you. And it's Mick Grinch, that's the lead on the Metro, as Rail Union leader Mick Lynch denies being a Grinch, stealing Christmas from travellers after announcing a new wave of strikes. Well, the Daily Mail also has that story questioning when will we rein in the union's intent on Xmas chaos. Well, unions inflict Christmas strike misery. It's the front page on the Express with HGV drivers, nurses and postal workers all set to strike next month. On the front page of the Eye, the headline, Rebels force Sunak to back down on housing after nearly 50 Tory MPs threatened to protest over planning reforms. Country that bans love. The Mirror leads on a new development on the row over gay rights in the World Cup, over claims England's captain was banned to not wear the One Love armband. Well, the Financial Times leads with the latest on the FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried. The paper says he ran his crypto group as his personal freedom before its recent implosion. Now, the head of the NHS has said women will be able to work from home if they're experiencing bad menopausal symptoms. That's the front page of the Telegraph there. Well, patients are refusing sick notes from their GPs due to fears they can't afford to take time off work. That's according to the front page of The Guardian. Now, the Times says there is a rise in gambling addictions with a surge of people turning up to A&E saying they're suicidal because of it. Now, the Daily Star leads with Saudi Arabia's shock footballing triumph over Argentina, labelling it the biggest World Cup upset ever. And The Sun headlines hero to the throne as King Charles honours a heroic doctor who saved countless lives in Ukraine. And if you want to see any of those front pages again or read the stories, scan the QR code.
This morning's newspapers, shall we? We're starting with the Telegraph, and they're reporting that menopausal women working for the NHS are to be allowed to work from home under new guidance. Writing for the paper, the NHS England Chief Executive Amanda Pritchard says female health workers should not have to silently suffer and encourages other employers to follow suit.
It's a real range of stories across the papers this morning. The Times here leading with reports that demand for NHS clinics treating gambling addictions has risen by 42% in just the last year. And the paper says that they've been full of what they call young men in football shirts who've fallen foul of predatory tactics by betting firms. Doctors warning in this article that the increase in demand means that the health service is now picking up the tab of the online betting industry.
Lionel Who is one of the headlines on the front page of this morning's Guardian. The paper reports on Saudi Arabia's stunning 2-1 win against Argentina at the World Cup yesterday.
It was extraordinary, wasn't it?
It was incredible to watch.
And here's a picture for you in the Mail this morning, featuring an image of the Princess of Wales, who was among the senior royals attending that banquet at Buckingham Palace last night, as the King welcomed South Africa's president.
Lots of stories about the World Cup in the newspapers this morning. This is in the Times, talking about the England team. I know we will be talking about Wales later in the programme as well, but certainly the families of the England team, particularly wives and girlfriends, won't be allowed to visit the players for the time being.
Really?
And that's because they're in a COVID bubble. So they were allowed to see them very briefly after the game, but only very briefly. But in order to be made comfortable in their hotel, the England players have apparently been given things like there's a basketball hoop. They've had family photographs.
Not really a substitute for your wife, is it?
Well, they've got family photographs. Nice photo.
You've got a basketball hoop.
Nice photo and your favourite aftershave left in your room.
Oh,
That's
now
quite
you're
nice.
talking. Right.
Exactly. And also, never mind substitute for your wife. Jack Grealish has described how the English management have tried to make them feel at home, and they had a camel arrive to the hotel for camel rides.
No comment. Another World Cup story here in The Guardian. You know, Budweiser were told at the weekend that they couldn't, after all, sell the beer at the stadiums in Qatar. Well, they've decided, what do you do with all that beer? Apparently there's like 75 million quid's worth of beer in that sponsorship deal. Well, apparently Budweiser have decided they're going to give the beer to whichever country wins the World Cup.
Wow.
So it could be a very wet, busy Christmas, couldn't it? There we go. Is that coming home?
I'm
that
not
be
sure.
nice?
All that beer.
All that beer. I don't know whether it would be given away for free, but that would be quite a thing, wouldn't it, for whoever wins?
Got to go somewhere.
It goes to a really small country with a small population.
Could
get
very,
messy.
Yeah, exactly. Literally.
Yeah,
Talking about Messi later on in the
messy,
programme
yeah.
and how he's going to cope with that defeat.
Maybe not going there.
Yeah.